want you to tell a little bit about your story, because you're right now doing the things for the Lord. But did you always do this, or were there moments you went away from the Lord? Or
Yeah. In the beginning, when I spoke about, being born in a Christian family doesn't truly make you a Christian, that's something that definitely applies to me. I have been grown in an environment where Jesus has always been given the first place. Yes, I've always had the values, the Christian values of going to Sunday school, memorizing the Bible verse, winning all the scripture union rallies, winning Bible competitions. That has always been my thing, but I never truly understood the value of that. I knew that that was a part and parcel of life, but I did not know why I'm doing it and what was the reason for me to keep Jesus the first place and not myself. And it was at that time, I think this was during the pandemic, I've had a very, very, I don't know what kind of a mental situation I was in. I don't know what I would say. Would I call that depression? Would I give that a name? I have no idea. But I wasn't truly happy. At the same time, I was still happy. I was happy for one thing, that I got some time to spend with my parents and with the Lord, knowing the Lord. At the same time, I was very unhappy that I wasn't really sure of what was going around with the world, and we lost about 7 to 8 people in the same year, all our close relatives, and it was very traumatizing for me. And in the same year, I lost my best friend in my university due to pneumonia. And she never really told me anything, and she never informed. So that really hit me hard. And this is specific date, 28th December 2020, was the first day I felt somebody speak to me. I felt that I heard God's voice tell me, get up and do this. So I have never recorded videos before, and I was like, what am I doing? I don't know, why am I hearing this voice? And I heard that voice saying, pick up your phone, record this video, record yourself and do it. It might be strange to some people, but that's what happened. And I did it. And then on, I started continuing a page on Instagram where I started speaking more about Jesus. That's when I came across some people who were really suffering the way I was. And in the meantime, there were plans of me finishing my bachelor's degree and going abroad. And when I went there, being in that solitude, being alone, I've realized that I needed God. I needed Jesus. If I didn't have him, I probably would have been shattered. I wouldn't have been in one piece. I wouldn't have gone any further than my imagination, So there was this one point, one day, another date. This is the 4th of June, 2023, when I saw Jesus walk with me. This was on my way back home. And I felt like somebody is walking with me. When I looked on the right, I get goosebumps whenever I tell this to people. I actually saw Jesus walking beside me. That was incredible. The feeling is incredible. And I was on my way to a park, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to spend this time with the Lord. I went and I slept on the grass, and I saw Jesus sleeping beside me. That was incredible. After that day, I have never, ever, ever had any kind of panic attacks, anxiety attacks. Don't get me wrong, I still have my low moments. I still cry. I'm still a human being. I will still fall. But I know that my Lord is my strong pillar. And like I said, being born in a Christian family doesn't make you a Christian. You need to have the encounter with the Lord yourself to be able to know if you're a true Christian or not. So that's my life.
wow, your story is so good, so good. I mean, when you were sharing about a lot of things, like you said, it was just like normal.
Yep.
I was actually reminded of this, that the minute I want to come back to this in a few minutes, but I was just reminded of how everybody, when you think of me, you always think of my book, Unveil Your Purpose. And everybody thinks of me as the purpose guy, because I keep talking about, you have a purpose and things like that. But I don't know if you remember this, but I was reminded of how a random question you asked me on my Instagram many years ago.
Yeah.
I think, how did you find your purpose?
Right.
You
Yeah,
asked me.
I did,
I
yeah.
think I have that screenshot somewhere. I might put that up. So, just a random question that you asked me, and that led me to thinking and going deep into that topic,
Right.
led me to this book.
Wow.
So even when you didn't realize it, you were actually doing something in line with the purpose.
Right.
That's
Thank
how
you.
God is been using you. Even when before you had that encounter, God has been working in your life, and God has been using you.
Amen.
And now, I don't know if you know this. This became a number one in India. This particular
Wow.
book. So all this happened because of one question that was asked on Instagram. Can you think
Wow.
about it? So,
God is
guys,
good.
you have no idea what random moments are going to lead to extraordinary moments in your life.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people just want to write you off based on where you are. Over the years, people have written me off. People said all sorts of stuff. They made fun of what I've been doing. You're one of the few people who didn't do that, but people did that, and all of those steps that I took, and today where the Lord has led me, and it's amazing. Just one encounter changed you. Yeah. Over the pandemic, people, either got bitter or they got better, and you got better.
Yeah. Praise the
So
Lord.
it's all the grace of God.
Yep.
The Lord has been doing this, and it's a testimony for those, especially if you're a parent worrying about your child, or if you're someone who's like, oh my goodness, I've written them off because there's no hope for them. But here's a hope that you have no idea how Jesus is going to encounter them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And like for me, I was also raised in a Christian home, but I went to church for the chocolate cake. That's all. That's all I was interested, because I didn't see the miracle, I didn't have encounters and all of those things. But one fine day, Pastor Benny Hinn, right? When he came to Bangalore, it was a huge crusade, 7.3 million people in attendance. And there I had an encounter with the Lord. And there I felt His presence touch me. I didn't even know what it was.
Yeah.
But that changed me completely.
Absolutely.
And I have, like you said, some people may not believe in these encounters, like, oh, Jesus walked with you. But I've experienced that, so I can believe it with all my heart. Like, there was once Jesus took me and showed me a glimpse of hell. So I know the reality of hell.
Wow.
Like, it's not a joke. And like all of these things, sometimes, Christians tend to become extremely theoretical, what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just read the Bible, memorize scriptures,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yeah.
But there is an experiential part that really transforms you.
Absolutely.
Like
Definitely
I
does.
always say this, like reading the Bible will give you information, but only a revelation will give you transformation.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you need that
Absolutely.
encounter and the revelation from the Lord to
Yeah.
see the transformation.
Yeah.
And if God did it for you, He's
He
going
can
to
do
do it
for
for those
anyone.
watching as
Yeah.
well.